Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Salute to all the Matrix University subscribers tuning in. You are always appreciated. This video is going to follow up on the recent HBO Max streaming release news because it looks like movie theaters and production companies could pursue some legal pushback. And if this is your first time down here or you simply want to know everything about the Matrix 4, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on any future updates. I found this article titled, Dune and Matrix 4 streaming plan prompts urgent talks from AMC cinemas. The article says, quote, AMC is in urgent talks with Warner Brothers after the filmmaker said all releases would be available to stream instantly in the US. The move will enable film fans to watch the forthcoming sci-fi epic Dune and the Matrix sequel on HBO Max at the same time as their cinema release. It has escalated tensions between Hollywood and US movie theaters. Both studios and chains are desperate to rebuild revenues after control measures closed cinemas. Earlier this year, assertive action by AMC successfully curbed a similar screening plan by rival Hollywood studio Universal. Cinemas are desperate for content to lure viewers back, with new entertainment that can initially only be seen on their screens. Typically, new releases are shown exclusively at cinemas for months. AMC had agreed to allow one film, Wonder Woman 1984, to be shown simultaneously on HBO Max, the streaming service owned by its ultimate parent company, AT&T. AMC boss Adam Aron said, "These times are uncharted waters for all of us, which is why AMC signed on to an HBO Max exception to customary practices for one film only, Wonder Woman 1984, being released by Warner Brothers at Christmas when the pandemic appears that it will be at its height." It accused Warner of subsidizing HBO Max by its move. "We will do all in our power to ensure that Warner does not do so at our expense. We will aggressively pursue economic terms that preserve our business. We have already commenced an immediate and urgent dialogue with the leadership of Warner on this subject." Ann Sarnoff, chair and chief executive of Warner Media Studios, said the pandemic called for creative solutions. "No one wants films back on the big screen more than we do," she said. "We know new content is the lifeblood of theatrical exhibition, but we have to balance this with the reality that most theaters in the US will likely operate at reduced capacity throughout 2021. AMC banned all Universal films after the studio said it would release new movies at home and on the big screen on the same day. The two firms eventually agreed that Universal films can go to digital services after just 17 days of viewing in cinemas. Explaining Warner's decision, Ms. Sarnoff said the unique one-year plan would give moviegoers who may not have access to theaters or aren't quite ready to go back to the movies the chance to see our amazing 2021 films. "We see it as a win-win for film lovers, and we're extremely grateful to our filmmaking partners for working with us on this innovative response to these circumstances." End quote. So for the time being, The Matrix 4 being released on HBO Max certainly isn't a lock yet. If a deal can be worked out where they are being compensated, this probably all goes away, but don't be surprised if the streaming date and movie theater date are no longer on the same day. ET Online caught up with writer-director Christopher Nolan, who recently experienced a pandemic-era theatrical release with his movie Tenet, and asked him what he thought about the recent Warner HBO Max streaming announcement. Nolan said, quote, "Oh, I mean disbelief, especially the way in which they did. There's such controversy around it, because they didn't tell anyone. In 2021, they've got some of the top filmmakers in the world. They've got some of the biggest stars in the world who worked for years in some cases on these projects very close to their hearts that are meant to be big screen experiences. They're meant to be out there for the widest possible audiences. And now they're being used as a loss leader for the streaming service, for the fledgling streaming service, without any consultation. So there's a lot of controversy. It's very, 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 very messy. A real bait and switch. Yeah, it's sort of not how you treat filmmakers and stars and people who, these guys have given a lot for these projects. They deserve to be consulted and spoken to about what was going to happen to their work." End quote. Deadline.com recently put out an article that talks about the existing percentages of these kinds of deals. I don't want to bore you with the numbers, so I'll leave a link in the description for anyone who's curious there. But it is heavily rumored that Legendary Entertainment will legally challenge Warner's decision to release Dune on HBO Max. Hardcore Matrixologists already know that Village Roadshow is partnered with Warner on Matrix movie productions and not Legendary Pictures. In the Matrix 4 Executive Teases Future of Franchise video here on this channel, the CEO of Village Roadshow specifically mentioned a pivot to streaming services in the wake of the pandemic. Of course, I'll be keeping a close eye on the details as the situation develops because a streaming release could prove to be incredibly good news for our Project Matriculated premiere party event. And remember, as one realizes that one is a dream figure in another person's dream, that is self-awareness.